Welcome to another Creative Spin podcast. And this is going to be our 10th attempt at this one?
Probably, yes.
Let's just say that once you get too comfortable with equipment, that's when funny things start happening.
But it's actually, and we can come back to it, it's actually a good thing to talk about.
It is.
Because people have this notion that we do things the first time. It's always,
and everything is perfect.
I
Nothing
can't
is perfect,
be-
people.
No.
Especially on YouTube. Nothing is perfect.
No.
We actually recorded this full episode yesterday, and now we have to re-record
But we
it.
didn't.
But we didn't because, yeah, mics weren't on and cameras were. It was just like a whole mess. The dog starts going at it like crazy. It was
interesting.
It was an interesting one, but we're going to go back to the topic that we did yesterday and we're doing today, which essentially is talking about what you should do to start your business, right? We already spoke about a little bit about this in previous episodes and how you should present yourself or how you should organize yourself. And today we're going to give you guys 5 of our tips of how to get your business on the go.
That you don't necessarily learn in books and school.
You don't, and these are pretty simple tips.
Exactly.
But I think they're the base of any company. At first I started tweaking the idea of doing this as a graphic design company, and probably a lot of the references that you're going to listen to right now is going to be towards the graphic design stuff, because
I can give education if you want.
Yeah, there you go. But essentially, these are tips for anybody that's looking into starting their own business.
And it works
So,
anywhere, really, yeah.
Keep tuned. And now let's hit that intro. Today's podcast is brought to you by Workplace One, a company offering boutique private offices, co-working spaces, and virtual office solutions, as well as meeting rooms in the best neighborhoods of Toronto and Kitchener-Waterloo. Ideal for entrepreneurs, companies, and passionate business people. Workplace One is where you want to be with your business. For more information, go over to workplaceone.com. All right, so starting your own business. Now that's an adventure on itself.
It is.
A lot of people think that it's it's an easy task. It's not. Let's get that right out of the way. It's not easy.
No.
But it can be rewarding.
And it's exciting at some point.
And it never ends.
That's true.
It just keeps on. It keeps on giving.
Keeps on giving in different ways.
It does. It does. I mean, a lot of times I think people have this. I don't know if a lot of people do, but I've heard it a few times that, I'm going to start my business and then I'm going to be able to go on holidays and I'm going to be able to have a flexible schedule. And you might, but you won't.
No, actually, you can, but you bring the work with you.
Yeah, true. All the time.
Yeah, you can go on vacation as often as you want.
Honestly, I think that if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, if you're the type of person that is business driven, I don't think you can really separate the two. There's a lot of this talk about, you need to separate your personal life from your business. Yes, but no.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. You're always going to be thinking about the business side of anything you're looking at. It's just who you are. That's something that you're born with, I think. A lot of people then, once they start their businesses, start realizing that, man, I really like this. This is really interesting.
And you can't really disconnect.
And you can't. Yeah. What you start doing is you start learning how to embrace it and how to make it work. And I think that's the big solution. But that could be this could be another topic. We can come back to that one. But anyways, today is starting your business. Rule number 1 for me is get your stuff together in terms of your branding and your marketing. You need to make sure that those two aspects are very you can paint a very clear picture of what you're doing, what you're selling to your clients. I think that's essential, right? Obviously, in terms of the branding side of things, I always advise just go simple, straight to the point. Don't try to confuse people with your logo being too overly complicated and your message being too overly complicated either. That's only going to be a negative side for your business. Especially
don't overthink it. That's
especially when you're starting. You don't want to confuse. My bottom line is be extremely clear as to what you're going to be doing.
Yep.
It's a pretty simple tip. And I'm saying this because, as simple as this might sound, a lot of people start going, "Oh, I can do this, the other." Blah, 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 blah." That's great that you could do all of that, but make sure you can bundle some of those things up. And when you're pitching the idea of what do you do, what's your company all about, you can actually say what you do in a very simple and in a way that people can understand.
Yeah.
Right. Now, this is not to say that you can't do more than one thing, obviously. I mean,
focus on your passion, but yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking of you. You're always reinventing Creative 7.
I'm always adding things
within what you've always done, right? And so,
but the core is still design. The core is still creativity.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And when I explain to people what do I do, well, I'm a creative person, and I take care of your brand.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can focus on your passion, and then it's almost like a spider web, right? So you've got that center thing, and then you've got all these different ways you can go to, but they're all connected to that middle part, to that center.
But all of those extra things that you do, aside from the main core of your business, those are the things that you can get into a conversation when somebody's actually curious and wants to know more about your business. That's when the full sales pitch is going to come out.
And they will.
If you're just, chilling at a bar and you're talking to somebody, don't get into it's going to be awkward. So, the first tip of the business side of things, I think, is just keeping your message very, very simple. If you actually do have more than one service, more than one product and all of that, try to focus on the one that started your business. Why did you start your business? What was that core service, that core product that actually got it to kick off? That's your core. Now, the other question and the other tip is based on how to find your clients, or basically how to find work, right? Now, this is, again, a very straightforward tip. Keep it simple. Socialize with people you already know. You're starting your business, so you're going to need help. People that can help you, your friends, your family. Now, when I say this, it's not so much go up to them and see if you could work for them. I'm coming more from the aspect of, can you help me out? Do you know anybody that might want, might need my services or my products? And the cool thing about that is that if they're really your friend and or a family member, they want to help you. Don't be afraid to ask. A lot of times I feel like people are afraid to ask their friends. I mean, just go out there. You're not going to ask every single person, but ask them. You just never know, because you don't know, them.
Yeah.
You don't know who they know. Right? Entirely. They can work in a company and work beside hundreds of people. You don't know every single person that they work with. And you just don't know that, the guy that works with your cousin Joe is, he's starting his own side hustle and needs some of your services or some of your products to get his side hustle going. So these things just happen organically, and the best way is to find somebody in your inner circle that can help you expand that circle. And think about it this way: if you're going to meet with somebody based on a referral of somebody they already know, half of the war is won.
And a lot of times what they will do, if they're happy, they will be the ones advertising for you, because it is very common to see nowadays on whatever platform, Facebook, Instagram, whichever one they prefer. It's very common to see, look what so-and-so just did for me. I'm really happy with the service, or I'm really happy with the product. And that's your best way of advertising.
100%.
You don't want to use social media, your own platforms, just to sell your stuff. You want to interact with people. You want to make sure you've got something valuable to tell them. That doesn't always sound like, hey, listen, I design, I teach, whatever. They will do that for you. And it's been our thing with Creative 7. A lot of people will do that. Will say, I'm really happy with what Jamie did for me, or I'm really happy with this. And I see that a lot with other services and companies, where people just, give a shout out and say, thank you. You've provided me with, and I've used services based on stuff like that, right?
And now the other thing is the third point that I want to make is make sure to build your partnerships. And when I say partnerships is based on what you're doing. You're going to have suppliers. You're going to have people that you need in order to make your business work. So like, let's say for us, we deal with a lot of photographers, videographers, other people that are not in our office per se, but we hire when we need them and need their services. These are all people that you want to keep a tight relationship with, because again, the same way that you need their services, there's going to be one day that one of their clients is going to need some services that you provide or a product that you provide, and that's when that connection is going to happen, and it's going to benefit you as well. So keeping that tight relationship with any one of your suppliers or people that work alongside with you, it's just extremely important, and you just never know when that's going to happen. Exactly. It's really hard to say, oh, you know what, I've helped A, B, or C, and now I'm going to get a ton of work. That's not really how it works. Sometimes it'll be like 3, 4, 10 years down the road, and that person is going to come knocking on your door saying, hey, listen, you know what? We've been working together for so long, but now I have somebody that needs your services. Here you go. And that's how, that's how things start. I mean, look at us. I mean, our business, we've been going on for 15 years now, just over that. And it's been essentially referral base and people that keep coming back to get, design and all these things that we do done. And they keep referring us, and that's how our business has grown and keeps growing. So it's extremely important to keep good relationships with anybody, from your clients to suppliers to people you work with alongside your business. Try to keep that always a nice and positive relationship.
Yeah, and don't, a coffee can go a very long way, but don't give a coffee expecting something back. Just
exactly, never do anything expecting, because you know what, people can tell.
Of course,
it's like anything in life.
Of course,
if you come across as somebody that's doing something just because you want something in return, that
can actually backfire at you.
Exactly, the whole thing that we just spoke about, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a sound. Did you like that sound effect?
Yeah.
That was a great sound effect. Yeah.
That's something people don't know about you. You're great with sound effects, right?
Oh yeah, great. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Like mine.
Fourth little point: time management. This is something that I struggle with. This. I struggle with, and the reason why I struggle with this one is because I don't know how to say no. I have been learning lately. I know it takes me a while to get things, apparently.
And you're not saying no, not to be rude. You're saying no, I don't have the time right now to do something.
And it took me a while to get that into my head, because, I always... And I think this goes all the way back from when I started in the design field, when I was working at the newspaper. You had that hard deadline. You had that newspaper had to be done by 6:00 because it had to go to the printers, and that pressure and doing things in a rush because it needed to get done. I think that carried on. And every time a client would ask me for anything, it would be, okay, can I do it right now? And can I do it and that's not the right way to do it. I've now realized that. And that's why I felt like this fourth topic or tip or whatever you want to call it is extremely important. If you're starting your business, to start it the right way. Don't say no to people, but just
look at your schedule.
Look at the schedule and be realistic about the time frame that you're going to tell people as to when you're going to be able to provide that service or provide that product. And now the fifth and last point is the one that keeps the lights on, which is the financial side. So
that's the most interesting.
It is the most important one. And that was shouldn't have done
you
that.
and the sound effects today.
I know today I've yeah.
What else are we gonna go like?
I can do drums.
Okay, let's drum.
So the financial side is one of the, if not the most, no, not the most, but one of the most important parts.
It's part of that group of most important things.
Essential. Yeah, the essential part of your business. It is one of those that it's funny. It's one of the most important ones, and it's one of the ones that people just don't sometimes dedicate as much time as they should. And I get it because, again, and I left these 2 points for the end of the list because they're the points that I don't deal well with. Time management, I'm getting better. And financials,
way better.
I'm getting better as well. You need to focus on it. And sometimes I get it. Listen, I'm a creative guy. Even though I am good with numbers, I'm more of a creative guy, and I prefer to stay in front of the computer to design things or just come up with creative ideas and all that kind of stuff. Of course, that's my core.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I love. Financial part, yeah, I can do it, but it sucks. It's not something I like to do. But you need to realize, if you're starting your business, you need to realize, if you're somebody like me that doesn't really enjoy financials, get somebody that can. And you don't need to pay someone like a full-time position to do this stuff. It's realistically, you can get people that are really good, like accountants and or bookkeepers or whoever you want, that can work with you in saying, okay, listen, every other day, or at the end of the week, you're going to give me all your receipts and all of your invoices, and let's figure things out and see what's going on. And you've finished all these jobs, have you invoiced them? At least they'll keep you on point. Because with a lot of the projects and a lot of the things, you get lost, right? Yep. Time just flies by, and all of a sudden you forget.
It is important to take into account, and again, when you were just speaking about time management, and how you time a project, and how long it took so that you can price it right. It goes with that as well. If you have to have an idea about profits and expenses and what your company, how much money your business needs to make, and how much money it spends, and otherwise it will be chaotic.
I was just gonna say, because when you're starting a business, I don't think a lot of people realize how expensive it can get, and really fast.
And the little things that add, like for me, I remember 15 years ago, I guess, you don't think about, wait, I need insurance. Wait, I need, I need this, I need that. And it's
the
these
office
small
supplies,
things,
the little gadgets that you need to work with.
Everything counts, and it adds up at the end of the month.
It adds up quick,
right?
guys. This is the end part. Anyways, this is just to say that, we've been playing with the 360. We took it on our holidays, and now we have it here. We're going to try to implement this into our podcast and our future podcasts. And hopefully that'll look cool. We got some...
Why are you picking on Woody Woodpecker?
I have Woody Woodpecker in my hand. You guys have to watch the video, because if you're just listening to this, it's going to sound really weird.
And poor penguin just fell.
All right, guys, that was it for this edition of the Creative Spin Podcast. I think we're spinning out of control here at this point. So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
See ya.